Here we go. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm here with David Fitzpatrick in Queenstown, and we're just having a chat. So this week's podcast is going to be a little bit different.
Hopefully.
Yeah. David, welcome to the podcast, and thank you.
Appreciate this. Yep.
Yeah. We met back in December, about 6 months ago, and I was here, Queenstown. Anyway, I said we were just going to have a chat, and I just went into interview mode. So
yeah, you did.
So let's just have a chat.
There was a big gap between my first start of being an artist or a creative person or a musician. It was piano. I loved it.
Okay. Was that at school you learned piano?
Yeah, it was an interesting thing. It was in primary school, and we had a teacher, and my sister and I used to play the piano together. You know, she was on one end, I was on the other. And then I started doing my own little notes and music, little short pieces of music.
Yep.
And then my mother said, "Oh, wow, that's amazing. Who taught you that?" The lady, Mrs. Finn, her name was. I said, No, it's just something I did. She goes, "Oh, wow." And then I came home one day after school, raced into the sunroom to get on the piano. It was gone. Oh, and my father said, "I didn't think you were using it." So he sold it. And then it was a big gap. It was a huge gap between having this friend to not having a friend. So that led me into a lot of other trying to be a big person, a big man or whatever, strong man, you know, show off.
Took you away.
Fast cars and motorbikes.
From creative pursuits.
But always was I in the middle of stuff.
Okay.
So I can remember getting something from a teacher in the high school, and my report card said, "David knows what he's doing, but does enough just to pass." And she said, "It's much harder to just pass than it is to even fail or to get the top of the class."
Yeah, you're holding yourself back, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't want to fail, but you don't want to succeed.
Yeah.
So there's a middle ground, you know, that middle aspect. And currency was introduced as well, and centimetres and that halfway through my class.
Oh, yeah, of course.
When I look back, I've always been I've been the bridge, if you want, or been the connector. I know that, but I know that bit too.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It's the second time you've used the bridge metaphor.
I can't get away from it. No. I'm always on it. I'm always on the bridge. That's where I've always been there. And when I worked underground, electrician to start off with, which I was bloody hopeless at. I hated it. Yeah. But came in later, that aspect of my life. It came in and connected to me later, which is fascinating. And this my second stint was being a labourer underground and stuff like that. But I was born on top of it, but I worked underneath of it. Yeah. So there was that opposition. So the mountains and all that people walk on and appreciate and love. I don't do that. I can't get into that bushwalking, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. People doing it, but I saw the mountains underneath, you know, with tunnels and stuff like that. So I was in the middle. So that's what a lot of my art has been about.
Okay. Yeah.
Lately.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So and you're telling me before. So for people listening, I would know your work. I would know your sculptural work. So, but you're not just a sculptor.
No,
sculptor. No. What is your practice?
Well, it's whatever. That's an interesting question, because I know that it's not what I use to make art. It's why I make art.
Yes.
Or that's the reason why I do it. So whatever I find is what I use. So it's mainly from the district, a mining west coast, that I use my materials. To give you an example of what I mean by that, and being between things, I found these old shovels that were used underground years and years ago at the Zen slag dump. Mm-hmm. And they were repurposing the slag and putting it back through to get the minerals and stuff out, but they'd left all this metal in a big pile, and I found all these shovels. So they used to dig a hole, then they were buried, and then they've been resurrected. So I I came across some 1930s lino. I know it was 1930s because the newspaper underneath of it was 1929, 1930. So I used that lino and collaged it onto these old shovels.
Wow.
So I don't know what I got from it, but I got something that was grounded and meant something to not just one person. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And before you were telling me about the sculptures that you co-created, did you say?
Yeah, the slag was...
the 1912 disaster.
Yeah.
And how those sculptures point towards the site of the disaster, is that
That's right, yeah. That was a friend of mine, Mal, the potter, here in Queenie. And we did these slag sculptures. And we did them for the 1912 mining disaster. But as we did more of them, they became to mean a lot different aspects. And it was that feeling of loss, like I was explaining to you before, that feeling of loss with something that was a huge loss. And it was the only time you ever realised that you loved somebody at the same amount of loss. And with the residue from the slag, that's what's left over from what's valuable, like the copper and the gold and stuff like that. So they was locked in that moment of intense pain and sorrow, but also it has to be magnified or opposed to love.
Yeah.
So you feel that hit and pain, but you also, love is what tells you that's that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And
Have I said that correctly?
Well, I don't know. You know, only you can tell me that.
Well, yeah, I did.
But I reckon but it's this thing of shared loss and shared grief, I guess. So your artwork is helping others it communicates that shared sense of grief, belonging, loss.
Yes. And you know the funny thing about that is it's only been since I lost my dog, Riley, that I realised that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
So there again lies, you lose your best friend because he was around me all the time, nearly in my pocket. He was in my bag on the Harley, so he loved it. But what I got from his loss was the fact that it was an understanding of the love. It connected everything, So and that's why you've spoke to you about the synchronicity and stuff, where we booked this time and have a chat, but it actually came in like another stepping stone towards something else that I'm investigating.
Which isn't sculpture.
No, and it's not the paintings either, which, I did big pictures with no paint, used acid and water and weather resists and, the whole bit. So
what are you working on now?
I've just got a few shovel ones to finish off, I call them, and a few others for the Unconformity Festival. But because I'm getting older, things aren't working as well. It's not hammering and welding. I can only do it for a short period of time now. I get a bit tired, blah, blah, blah.
Listen to me draw.
Yeah.
This is the project that we really need to talk about.
My other life, if you want, is being one of doing spiritual readings and in healings and psychic readings and stuff. Some accept it, some don't, So it's the pastel drawings and the tarot cards and doing that and that's where a lot of people get a lot of my drawings from. So that's been huge. I've done more drawings than I have done artworks as such, sculptural.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place.
What do you draw on?
Black paper.
Yep.
And use pastels and just start. And the person sits opposite me and they're looking at me and we're talking, having this conversation, and they're looking at the drawing as well. So the energy gets drawn into that. So as I'm talking and drawing, I'm looking at this one that's telling me the story, so to speak, and they're looking at another picture on the other side. So it's almost like we're both in another place together. It's quite safe as well. It's very safe, actually. The beauty of it, which I found, and people contacted me later on, has been the fact that they've enjoyed the conversation. It's been taped or on their phones now, So when they turn around and put it on the wall or wherever, people come and ask them why or what's that doing there or why did you do that drawing, and they can either tell them and then it just carries the drawing reading on further into the future, you know, or whatever, into the unknown's a better word possibly. So that's what I do. I'll just go right back to that piano thing because it's really interesting.
Yeah, please.
That I realised also that playing the piano was like doing drawings. So colours became notes and things like that. I did a crazy thing once where I did it on white paper. I used a whole box of pastels, trying to put them all on exactly the same amount of time, trying to see if that paper would go back to white again. It's a crazy, I get that's a crazy thing.
No, it's not crazy. No.
I just wanted to see the light.
It leads me to the question of how do you experience colour? And light, for that matter, and sound. So
the whole thing.
So sounds like you have this like hyper sensory experience.
The darker it gets, the brighter the light.
Okay.
So if I'm doing something that's pretty heavy, or something's happened that's been pretty heavy, or I don't want to bring anyone else into the story, you know. If something's hugely dark, there's always, you look for the light of it, you look for the spark of it, you know. If you go into a big hall and it's pitch black dark outside and inside, the power's gone out, or you're looking for the light switch. So you just strike a match. As soon as you strike that match, you can see the whole thing and you take it all in because you're looking for something.
Yeah.
And you want the light. You're looking for the light, you know what I'm saying? Like a switch. And you strike the match and you go, oh, there's the switch. You just flick it on. And then the dark's gone.
Yeah, okay.
So it doesn't matter how many stories or how much people relate to you in a way, how they're feeling, how sad they are or depressed or what they've been through, some horrific thing.
Yeah.
There's the light, there's the thing. You can't have it. You can't have one without the other, you know. When I'm drawing and I suddenly realise that's what I'm doing, if that makes sense, I've got all these bloody pastels stuck in my hands, you know.
Okay.
So instead of, and I've got to use two hands because I draw this way and then I can't draw that way, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So if I want to do a circle, it's easier to do it with the other hand sometimes. Or
you're right-handed, but you also...
I'm left-handed.
You're left-handed.
But when I'm drawing, I've got a handful of colour.
Yeah, sure, yeah. So you're using your right as well. So
so instead of bending down and picking up the pastel, I want that one.
But you're in a hurry.
Oh, yeah, I haven't got much time. I am in a hurry because it is like playing a bit of music, you know, and I realise that. So sometimes I listen to the music and then I try and figure out my colour. Because I went, this is going to sound, I'm just bouncing all over the place, I apologise.
No, don't apologise at all.
But I'd find a list of numbers on palette, right? There's a bit numbers stamped on there. I go, one's yellow, one's whatever.
Yeah.
So I try to paint that palette, you know, like a palette, not a painter's palette, like a stack-up palette, you know, like a... So I was starting to see these numbers, and then I'd start to paint the numbers and what they were in relation to a colour or to a note or something like that. So they made a bit of sense, and that sounds crazy, but it made a bit of sense to me, you know.
It sounds really intense.
I don't know if it's intense or not. I think...
Is it a flow state? You just get into this, you know, we talk these days about, you know, finding our flow, but you just get to it's like you just start making and it starts to come to you, and you're searching and you just keep going. You just can't stop yourself.
And that's an interesting question because I don't know whether I stop searching. I don't even know whether I start searching. I just start doing something that there's that word again. I just start drawing where I know I'm going to find something. Does that make sense? It might be big, might not be big, might be something tiny, but it's just another step on to a forward progression of...
So you have a clear intention when you start?
No, I have a deep feeling for something.
Yeah.
I can't paint when I'm angry. I can't do art when I'm pissed off.
So it's not coming up from here. It's coming from here.
No, it never come. It's really difficult to talk about too, because sometimes when you get up above it, it sounds a bit egotistical. But doing the drawing is like doing a drawing. It's like completing a drawing is just one note or one colour of that. And then the next one is that, and the next one was that. Doing the spiritual drawings, the psychic drawings on the circuit was fascinating. I'd be doing a drawing for that person, and another one would come in an hour or a bit later, and another bit later, and there was a continuity with those people.
Yeah.
And so it was just like doing one big drawing with 8 people. 8.
Yeah.
Not people.
Maybe they're
not
drawn
clients.
to you and your energy.
Yeah, well,
that's
interesting.
So they're reflecting that back. That's why you see a continuity. Because it's for me, everything, as someone who's interested in culture, I see everything as relational. Like you and I are having this conversation. It's unfolding in a way that wouldn't unfold if we were down the cafe, or if I was talking to someone else here, or if Bjorny wasn't here.
Yeah, it's a dog's life.
So they're coming to. So you're seeing this continuity between, or you're feeling it, because when you're I guess making their portrait or you're drawing them, you're drawing their aura or their.
No, see that's the trick.
Yeah.
Wow, trick. That's the way of it. It's not even the way of it really. I start with black. Because I always attempt to draw from dark to light.
Yeah.
And that's just me doing that. So I normally start with those darker colours, I do the drawing roughly white maybe, but really the drawing is I draw one drawing on top of another. So when that person leaves and they're happy with what we spoke about, 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
They see the happy aspect of that. If they step back into a situation that we'd spoken about that wasn't quite as happy or was a little bit sad or, painful or whatever, they would look at the picture and they'd be in a different mood, so they'd see the different colours, So the picture would change to some degree.
They'll experience it in different ways depending on how they're feeling in the moment.
Yeah, so and that's the beauty of doing a drawing, because if they put it on the wall and they come in really happy, and one of their kids just won a big prize and they're all joyful or whatever, and they go, the picture sort of lights up a little bit maybe. They see all the yellows and the whites and oranges and warm colours. Or they might have had someone who's unwell, they might feel crabby, angry, upset, got sacked or something, they lost something.
Yeah.
And then that's when they see the other part. So what I spoke to you before about in the head, thinking about it all the time, and something horrendous happens in your life or something really lovely happens in your life, you drop out of that down and hit you in the guts,
Yep.
Not gut, it's actually hit you in the guts. And it can, if it's a hard one, it's a painful one, a loss or something, it sits there, you feel it, you're trying to think your way out of it, no, you can't get out of it. Or it drops into your heart, and then it drops down. It's like, oh, geez, I feel a bit funny.
Yeah.
So what I intend to do, whether I do or not, is to reach into that part there maybe. You just maybe this come to mind when you spoke, is pull that up and let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
And then, because it's good, bad, or indifferent, it goes back in.
You're doing these drawings with people. You're taking that on. How do you manage? How do you cope with all of that emotion and all those lives that you've just absorbed?
Yeah. So I've done thousands of those.
Yeah.
One thing I found out earlier on in the piece is that there is a need to connect to other like minds in that regard. To start with, for yourself, to bring in that trust of what you're getting is spot on or close to being spot on. But the other thing is, you take one thing off one person and you hold it for a short time till the other person sits, and then you realise it's theirs.
Yeah.
So you take the handbrake off somebody and you put the handbrake on another.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? So in the spiritual world where it's supposed to be all around and whatever,
yeah,
it actually is quite linear sometimes.
Yep.
So there is the opposite of things happening.
This
it's
is
just
the
a recognition of which
the continuity you were speaking of. So they come and they bring you something, and then you pass that on to the next person.
Yeah, because we don't just meet somebody randomly.
When people come to you for those drawings, what's the how and why do they come to you? I mean, how do they discover that?
Well,
you said you were on the circuit.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I'm just trying to get some context on how people are fit. Are people, are people perhaps experiencing grief when they come to you, or they could be in any state, any emotional. Are they from all walks of life? Are they?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. It was some magical, mystical space, that people stepped into, and then all of a sudden they were drawn to someone who knew a lot about their subject or their intentions. I'll use that word, intentions, without them really telling them anything.
Yeah.
So we sort of had our own way.
Mm.
That was. It's a really fascinating question because I can't answer that.
No, it's fine.
Without revealing a lot of stuff about other people.
Yeah, of course, I understand. I understand.
Everything I do is for me, but there is that communication around it as well. So only when my dog died did I fully realise that that's what I was doing. I've gone, you haven't known what you've been doing for bloody 50 years. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm going through that myself right now.
Oh, and it's such a beautiful thing when you come out the other side and look back. Oh, yeah. It's incredible. So it's a good thing.
Oh, yeah, I get it now.
Yeah, and that's like...
So you're looking for ways to express things that are very difficult to put into words and to feel things that you perhaps haven't been allowed or been able to feel in the past.
Yeah, well, that's interesting too, because I believe, and I understand what you just said, and it's true. But the beauty of it is, as you get older, you can have that experiences again by the memory. Go, you go, oh yeah, that, and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have the experience, but you don't sort of pick up on it.
Trauma.
Just on that, right? It's really fascinating because that in-between thing that I speak about, where I've been stuck. But as soon as I start to understand it, then I have to stand under it. And when I know that I'm understanding it and then standing under it, the space gets bigger, grows instantly as soon as I get a realisation of something or it, whatever it may be. But it's the past, it's not going to happen again.
So that's why...
And the future has not happened yet. So where is that now? That's a crazy thing. I know it's deep, so I'm not going to go into that aspect of it. But when the more you understand it, or the closer you get to it, it's like halving something all the time.
Yeah.
You know it's there, but you're never going to get to it if you keep halving it. You're never going to make it.
No. So you got to embrace it.
Yeah, and then you go, well, I just was there, now I'm not. Mm. So those moments that I paint in a short period of time, I'm attempting to capture that. But it's always going to be a half step away from it or a half step past it.
Yeah.
Never going to be what it is. Does that make sense?
I've got you entirely, yeah.
So the person's looking at the drawing upside down as I'm drawing it, and when I spin it around, I see what they saw and then they see what I saw,
Yes.
So that's the bridge from someone's hard hits or someone's loving aspect into the other part of it, into the other bit. So you can stretch it from over 30 years, but it's really only a moment of time. It's such in
Yeah, indeed.
in where
yeah.
I'm sitting or where we're sitting.
Sure, yeah. But you're able to...
That makes sense to you, doesn't it?
It really does.
Cool. Thanks.